Hey, it's Tim.
And it's Amy from GoWithLess. We're glad you're here. In this week's video, we're sharing how we were able to make $21,000 of spend on 3 new credit cards to get killer deals and sign-up bonuses. We did this even though we were out of the US, even though we didn't have the cards in hand, all online. So there's a lot going on in today's video. We hope you watch the whole thing.
In 2015, Amy and I retired in our late 40s, and in January of 2020, we sold our home and became full-time nomads. Every Wednesday here on our channel, we're talking about our nomadic fire life.
If you like today's topic, please give it a thumbs up the video. Subscribe over here for videos like travel hacking, house sitting, early retirement, nomadic living, that sort of thing. So let's get talking about the 3 credit cards that you started with in December of 2021.
Yep, so 2 of them were Southwest Airlines credit cards, and 1 of them was an American Express Platinum card. So we signed up for a personal and a business Southwest card. The reason for that is we ultimately wanted a companion pass, plus these 2 cards came with 160,000 points. So the first card had a metric that if you spent $2,000 in the first 90 days, you got 50,000 points. And then if you spent an additional $10,000 for a total of $12,000, you got another 50,000 points. So that was the personal card. That was 100,000 points you got for that card. The second card was a Southwest business card. In that card, you had to spend $3,000 in 90 days, and with that spending, you got 60,000 points. That points total gave us enough points to earn a companion pass, which gives us buy one, get one free with Southwest Airlines for 2022 and 2023.
Now I'm going to even back that up just a little bit in case you don't know about that. So every year since 2017, we have had this companion pass and we toggle back and forth. So now it's back to my turn. So when Tim says you get buy one, get one free, that is on every flight so every single flight that I book, Tim is able to go at no charge other than taxes for whether it's paid with cash or with points. So not only those points we value at 1.3 cents one of those Southwest miles. So what does that mean?
A little over $2,000.
Over $2,000 just in points alone, and then that doesn't even include all the BOGO trips that Tim's going to be taking. And even though we're not in the United States a ton, we are in the United States enough. We don't have a car, so we're flying from place to place. Just in the first half of the year, we already have booked flights more than $500. So we expect to get a lot of good value from that yet again. Since 2017, we have been loving it.
So basically, the points alone over $2,000. If we double that, we're going to say that those 2 credit cards will offer $4,000 worth of value to us. The next credit card that I signed up for was an American Express Platinum card. This card comes with a really hefty $695 annual fee. And there's a lot of perks that make it so that that's not quite so painful. We think that we will ultimately in the first year be able to get $600 worth of airfare value and then another $600 worth of hotel value. So the real value here comes from this 125,000 points that we earned with this sign up. And the requirements to get this 125,000 points is you have 6 months to spend $6,000. Anytime we sign up for something new, I want to make the spending happen as quickly as possible. So I had a plan to make all of this spending happen in 90 days.
Okay, so and there are so many perks with that Amex card, and also card offers are changing like day to day, week to week. So this was back in December, over 2 months ago. The deals have changed. I am going to put links to them down in the description below if you want to check them out. But there's all kinds of phenomenal deals. These were just the 2 or 3 that were really floating your boat in December.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get.
So also, I didn't actually assign a value to the Amex points. So we're going to say that those points are worth about 2 cents a piece. So that's going to be what did I say?
$2,500
worth of value. So all told, these 3 cards will give us, we believe, $6,500 worth of value.
Yeah, worth doing the homework and the hassle that you're going to see starting right now.
That's right.
So let's go with number 1. The biggest chunk of all toward the $21,000 was taxes.
Taxes. So we don't really pay any taxes. So why in the world?
We do for business taxes.
We do for business. We pay self-employment taxes, but we paid, what did we pay? $6,300 in federal taxes in the form of quarterly taxes for Q4 of 2022. So we intend to get almost every penny of this back except for whatever we might owe for our self-employment taxes for last year. And the reason we made this overage payment is that we can get $5,000 back in the form of I-bonds, and these I-bonds are currently paying About 7% interest, and so we're very excited about having this investment that basically we made by paying our taxes. We understand there are a lot of delays going on right now at the IRS. It may be months and months and months before we actually get this money back, but we're comfortable with the float. Also, we had to pay a fee. We had to pay a 1.8% fee in order to make this happen. So there's some expense that's just out of our pocket associated with making this investment.
And if you're interested in I-bonds, you don't know what Tim is talking about, Google it, because there's a lot going on with that. We like to invest to the maximum each year. This just happened last year, right?
Yep.
So it's last year, this year, and then that we can do this.
I-bonds have been around for a while,
Yes.
but they haven't been paying these sort of rates, and so this is a phenomenal rate.
So we are maxing that out.
That's
yeah. Okay. The next biggest chunk of our spending was for our daughter's college, just a payment toward her spring tuition, and that was $2,600. Easy breezy.
Yeah, this is something else that we actually paid a fee associated with making this spend happen. So the college, in order to allow you to use a credit card, charges I think a 3% fee. So usually we're not comfortable with paying these fees, but when we're getting $6,500 worth of value, spending a few $100s on fees is a no-brainer. And so this also came at a cost.
Yeah. Okay. The next biggest category is our health insurance for the entire year. We did an entire video about it a few weeks ago up here. If you haven't seen that, check that out. We spent $2,500 upfront on a credit card. Tim was thrilled to pay health insurance.
Yep.
And also we're going to be breaking this down in our monthly videos, amortizing it. So we're not going to just do $2,500 upfront. You're going to see that play out month after month.
Yep. We also gave away $2,500 to charity in December, and so that was just money that we gave to a variety of places. I think it was 15, 20 different places that we gave money to that represent this $2,500.
Yeah, that's a good way to meet your minimum spend is
absolutely.
charitable
Yep.
giving.
Yep.
Okay, next is stockpile. I'm going to let you take that because I don't really know what that is.
This is a little unique, and so that oftentimes with banks or with some investments like this stockpile brokerage account, you can fund something that's cash-like with a credit card. You have to be very, very careful if you make these sort of investments, because oftentimes when you do this funding, the credit card companies will charge you a cash advance because this is a cash-like thing. And so I did my due diligence. This stockpile, in order to buy stock through their brokerage account, did not charge me any fees, and there certainly were no cash advance fees from my Visa card. And so I was able to make this transaction happen. I bought $2,000 worth of stock, ultimately, or actually it's like gifts that ultimately I turned into stock. I bought an ETF. I bought VTI using this $2,000.
Good old VTI.
Good old VTI.
Okay, next up is payment toward our 5 cruises. We did a whole video about that just last week right here. So now we are paid in full, every single penny, including gratuities, for 4 of our 5 cruises. That means that we just have our 5th cruise. The only payment that we have left is gratuities on the 5th cruise. It's also, I think, our shortest cruise. So no big deal, and it's kind of nice to get into the beginning of the year with such a big chunk already paid off.
Yeah, it's amazing. So
and you got to have your bonus
it
because
hurts
of it.
a little right now, but as the year goes on, hopefully it won't be quite
As
as
we look at
painful.
like our year to date is kind of high.
That's right. So we also, the next thing we spent money on was we bought a whole year's worth of our storage. That was $1,300. Just like with our healthcare, you'll see this amortized throughout the year if you watch our monthly videos.
Okay, next is airfare, $1,150. The biggest chunk of that is a round trip flight. We took from Guadalajara, where we are now, up to San Antonio, round trip. Just crossing the border was quite expensive. We're going to be talking about this in our monthly February spending video, but that was for our Mexican residency, and we're not going to get into that in this video. We will talk about that probably at length after we hopefully get our green card, and that is several weeks away, we hope.
Yeah, and this seems like a big number whenever we have lots and lots of points and miles. So 2 things to point out here is that we couldn't find a good redemption to make this trip back to Texas happen with points and miles. That's why we chose to use cash. And then also flying back to the States, we paid some taxes.
Yeah.
So I think there's a few $100s in here of just taxes, even though we did use points and miles for one of our trips that we have upcoming.
Okay, next up is $730 for gift cards. That's all you.
I bought, for $730, I bought $750 worth of virtual Visa gift cards. This was an offer that was going on, I think, with giftcards.com back in December. And so these virtual Visa gift cards I can use for whatever purchases I choose to make online at some future date. So these are just sitting there waiting for me to use. And this is just like cash in the bank that we will use on down the road.
Okay, so all of what we just talked about was just over $20,000.
One other quick thing, and I apologize, is that you want to be careful when you're buying gift cards, specifically with American Express. They don't necessarily like that you're making these transactions, and so you just want to, again, do some due diligence in your homework around what's okay to purchase. And so those gift cards were purchased with the Chase cards, not with American
The
Express.
Visas,
With
yeah.
the Visa, yeah.
Okay, so again, that was just over $20,000 of spending for just the bigger ticket items. Down below, we have another $1,200 of spending. That includes things like online shopping for holiday gifts. We had our homeowners, we did a house sit back in the Christmas time, and the homeowners drove back home, and we asked them to pick up a load of stuff for us from Walmart just to get some of the stuff we can't afford. So it's a little more expensive here in Mexico. Just things like that. We had our annual bike share here in Guadalajara that we paid for, a little bit of Amazon credit. So nothing that's big enough to talk about the details.
So most of it's just minutia.
Yeah.
But
And that's over $1,200. So that hit there. We hit the $21,000.
We did, yay!
Yes. Okay. So now, and we already have the companion pass that just came through this week. So fantastic news. We're already booking it. We already booked it the next day. We started booking Tim on as a companion. Now, here's the thing: is this isn't designed for you to replicate it. More than anything, it's just designed for you to have some idea of the creativity you can use when you're looking at other credit card sign up offers yourself. So when you see those offers, we hear a lot of people say, "I don't want to sign up because I don't really spend that much money." Well, neither do we.
I'm in Mexico. How in the world am I going to spend on these credit cards that I don't even have?
Or it's a lot of cash here. So how does that work? And we just wanted to have this video almost like churn the juices to understand, like, oh, there's different ways of looking at that spending, and maybe you can still get those big rewards.
Yeah, I think also something to note is that oftentimes when we're having conversations about credit cards, we'll say that we have a rule of thumb. We're not going to sign up for a new card unless it provides $500 worth of net value year one. And I think also sometimes people will tell us, like, it just doesn't seem like it's worth the hassle to track all these cards and stuff like that. Well, when we're talking about 3 credit cards are going to give us $6,500 worth of value, for us, this just seems like a complete no-brainer. This is something that's easy enough to do. It's worth the effort for us when we're getting this sort of outsized value.
Also, something to note is we didn't buy anything that is totally not helpful. So it's not like you didn't notice a lot of online clothing shopping or things like that. So not a lot of stuff in there, if any, really. So it is things that we were already going to buy anyway. And even if it's things like gift cards, then it's things that we will buy in the future. So we didn't look at any of that other than the fees as kind of like wasted money, and the fees were insignificant in the big picture.
I think that's right. So a few $100s in the scheme of things when we're getting $6,500 value, no big deal.
So here's what we want to know from you this week. Have you been shying away from credit cards because you don't think you spend enough money, or because you're traveling and it doesn't work for you? Did this video give you any light bulb moments to maybe help that? And is there anything that we missed? Are there any hacks that you've been using to get spending on cards that weren't discussed, really specifically online? Some other things that we have done in the past, just to throw other ideas out there, is prepaying your cell phone bill, maybe prepaying your gym if you have that, your utilities, you're buying Airbnb credit. If you are not a nomad, maybe you have the same grocery store, go buy gift cards at your grocery store. So all of these things can count toward your minimum spend. And we do always want to say, when we're talking about credit cards, certainly do not sign up for credit cards if you don't pay your bill in full, because that will wipe away all of the rewards that you're getting. So this already assumes that you're paying your bills in full.
Bingo.
Okay, so with that, we're going to see you next Wednesday. Hasta luego.
Adios.